What's up guys, and welcome back to another, I want to say Pokemon Z speculation video, but I can't really call this a Pokemon Z speculation video. I can call it a speculation video in general. So we talked about the other day about this new Pokemon form, whatever, silhouette of it being shown in the trailer for the next movie after the Hooper movie. And we actually have a sort of, I guess, a higher quality image here. Because ones we had was from a Korokoro scan. Now the movie is actually out. We got people going into the cinema to watch it. Obviously, you're not allowed to use stuff in the cinema, as we all know. However, a couple people, they don't listen, so they just go and do it anyway. So, for example, here is a newer, I guess I want to say higher quality shot, because it does look a bit higher quality. If I show it to you there, you can see it's basically the same, however we can make out a few more distinct features. First up, its head seems to have loads of spikes or needles coming off the top of it, which look pretty cool. Its wings seem to be in almost, I want to call them wings, but I can't confirm they're wings. They look to be wings. They look like you have sort of like big tall shoulder blades and then arms coming around with wings behind, because it looks like there's two things there. And then you can see the hands there. They're a bit more sort of clawed and sort of sharp, I guess. They're not sort of just flat hands. There you can see the claws on them a bit more. Then if we look at the face a bit more carefully, as well as these, well, there's slight differences there again. If you look at the two eyes, they're now round. They're not sort of jagged like we did see. And what was in the centre of the head that looked like a jewel is actually what looks to be like a circle but with a spike down the middle. So the chance of this being a Zygarde form is slightly lessened now, in my opinion, including thanks to some other information we're going over in a second. But as well as on this face, you can also see what looks to be the bottom of his face with some pointed extrusions, and then the middle of the face there. But that's really all we can get from there. But the real sort of proper stuff from here is, as well as this Pokemon appearing in the movie trailer, there was also another Pokemon, a new Pokemon. Now obviously there's no pictures of this one. There might be in the coming days. However, this one was only shown briefly, and this information is coming from Cerebi here, who say that an envoy of the site, an envoy and close friend to the site, Jin, just saw the movie, and there was something new appearing in it. Apparently she described it as being bright green, with one eye being larger than the other. Now during this trailer, the eye looked through the O in Pokemon and then blobbed about. So that's really it. Here are a few sketches she did. Take these with a pinch of salt, because there are sketches of something someone saw, very briefly, maybe an hour before the sketches were done. But you can see here, it seems to be something like a blob, similar to a cast form almost, but a blob with two eyes. Obviously it's green, as she said, so who knows what that is. This could be one of three things. It could be something to do with a new Zygarde form that we see in the silhouette here. That's less likely in my opinion now, because the Zygarde form is looking less like a Zygarde form. And this blob, I don't know how this blob can relate to Zygarde in the slightest. The second option is that Generation 7 is coming, and it's coming soon. They might even skip over Pokemon Z. They might say, nah, I'm not doing Pokemon Z, sorry guys, not doing it. And they might go straight on to Generation 7, and who knows what that might be. In terms of revisiting Kalos, obviously it's a bit weird to only have gone to it once. So they might do something like Generation 7 starts off in a new region, and then the extra additions could be Pokemon Z in that generation. So you could have, I'm going to make up two names for Pokemon games, Pokemon Cobalt and Pokemon, I need a metal now. Cobalt and Granite, there we are. Cobalt and Granite could be the next games, and then Pokemon Z could take place after that, including the Kalos region. So that way we still get to go back to the Kalos region, however they sort of get to include all the features they want to, I guess, in some senses. So that's one possibility there, is going to skip over Pokemon Z or any sequels entirely, and the next movie after Hooper is going to be focusing on Generation 7 Pokemon being introduced, which would suggest at least that they're just going to go straight to Generation 7, because we haven't had any announcements yet. So if an announcement for Pokemon Z was made tomorrow, it would likely come out, I want to say December at the earliest, November, December at the earliest. If not, it would probably be January, February time next year. But they could just skip straight to Generation 7. Or the third option it could be is that how many Pokemon were introduced in Generation 6? Not many, 70 or so. Maybe they're gonna incorporate a Pokemon Z sequel, or Pokemon X and Y sequel, Pokemon Z, Pokemon X2, Y2, incorporate that with adding more Pokemon to Generation 6. I've said several times in the past there were hardly, and many Pokemon introduced in Generation 6. It would make sense to introduce some more to get you a complete generation. And this is plausible, it's possible, guys. We had new Mega Evolutions introduced in Oras, and they aren't tradable, or the Mega Stones aren't tradable with X and Y. They could very easily do the same with new Pokemon. Just have them in Pokemon Z only, and you can't trade them back to Oras or to X and Y, because we can assume they won't update the other games, because they just don't seem to want to. But yeah, 3 options, guys. Something to do with Zygarde, Generation 7 coming, or the second half of Generation 6. What I want to know is, what do you guys think? Which one of those is most likely in your opinion? Do you think this is something to do with Zygarde, this strange blobbiness? Or do you think we're going to skip over Pokemon Z entirely and go straight to Generation 7? Or do you think they're finally going to make up the Generation 6 Pokemon count with some new Pokemon in a Pokemon Z X2, Y2 sort of sequel thing? Let me know what you think down below. I'll be interested to see what the general sort of consensus is, but we'll find out soon enough, hopefully. But for now, this is going to be it for me for today. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to hit the like button down there and drop your comment. But for now, I'll be seeing you next time. Thank you for watching. Goodbye, my friends.